What it does. One of those days, folks. This is, seems what it's a lot of that lately. Welcome everybody, one and all. First chance I've had to do a video in a few days. Normally I don't do this on Thursday. Usually Thursdays and Saturdays I just leave the computer off, don't even fuck with anything. So that's why you never see anything from me on those days. But today I'm making an exception because I'm going to be a little busy. I have things I have to do to get this place somewhat presentable for people. One of these little things I have to do in life, I have to make it available. I have to make this available to the people I rent from, and one of the conditions is that they have to come by and inspect the place twice a year. So, in this instance, uh, maybe any visitors, uh, but that's neither here nor there. Uh, it's going to be a mixture video. I'm going to do sports, and I got one important non-sports story that I need to do. But I'll get the sports stuff out of the way. Of course, the Nationals lost today in spring training, lose the list of the Cardinals. The Cardinals had a split squad going. They had one squad was playing the Nationals, another was playing the Mets. The game with the Mets is on the MLB Network right now. They were playing about 1 o'clock, so they put this like a tape delay. Oh well. But anyway, um, so basically what the Cardinals did was they sent the A squad, which meant they sent Alfred Pujols and everybody, and wound up beating the Nats today, 7-5. So this is like the first loss the Nats have had in spring training. I don't know. I kept seeing this thing on Twitter during the week uh, when spring training started, and the Nats were winning like 3 games. Or actually, this is after they won their first game on Monday. So everybody was on Twitter saying, "Hey, can we crown them the World Spring Training Champions?" I was like, "Okay." I just thought it was funny. Anyway, so as I'm talking now, it's about 5:30 Eastern Time, which means in about 6.5 hours or so, the collective bargaining agreement with the NFL players is supposed to expire, which means the owners will lock them out unless there's some type of miracle that happens in the next 6 hours. I don't look for that happening. Uh, but it was a little distressing also today. I was watching and I noticed that not just because of this, they also understand that the NBA has their collective bargaining agreement, which goes away in June 30th, and Major League Baseball, their collective bargaining agreement goes away in December. So, this is, you're almost looking at this fact that we may be devoid of most pro sports. The only thing left to watch, over the winter months would be hockey. Go figure. Anyway, and speaking of which, by the way, the nice thing, Caps won Tuesday night. They were down 1-0, and in rapid succession, Brooks White got the tying goal. This thing goes to overtime, and Ovechkin saves the day. What can I say? Um, of course, I didn't get a chance because it's the first video I've had to do in a while. I didn't get a chance to talk about the trade deadline, how the Caps brought in a few guys, um, and had to trade David Steckel to New Jersey to bring the guy in. I don't know. I mean, it may work out. You never know. But I'm just going to point out here, Penguins fans. I know you got a bug up your ass because Steckel took out Sidney Crosby on New Year's night. Okay, you may still have a bug up your ass about that. I'm still saying this is still an act of war if you try to go after him. He's in New Jersey. I'm just saying. So, oh boy, there's one other thing before I move on. But the trade deadline, and I noticed Samuel Lepisto, who I saw about a year or two ago in Hershey, and who the Caps traded to Phoenix about a year or so ago. that he got traded to Columbus on Monday. It was him and somebody else. They got traded to Columbus, so I just thought I'd pass that along. I know there's a lot of people there in the greater Hershey area. I remember seeing Samuel Lepisto when he was there with Hershey. And they know that they saw what I saw. This guy's good, but never really got a chance in Washington. Anyway, we shall move along here. The picture freezes for some fucking reason. Okay, got all the sports items out of the way. Now I can devote the next few minutes or so to something that is absolutely distressing. And no, it's not Charlie Sheen. I wish I could go off on that, but that may be another day. No, what I wanted to talk about was and is this decision um, yesterday by the United States Supreme Court. I think everybody knows this story, and if you don't know it, I'll refresh everyone's memory. About 5 years ago, there was a man in Maryland. His son was in the Marines. He was killed in Afghanistan. They held the funeral. And these nut jobs from the so-called church in Topeka, which I think I heard says that it's referred to as the Westboro Baptist Church, but they're not Baptist and it ain't a church. It is a bunch of religious nut jobs from the get-go. And all they do, and this is now, like, they're almost professional with this, is that they just show up at funerals. Now they've taken their back to military funerals. But they just show up and, hold these signs that God hates fags, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we could just go on and on. It's hate speech, folks. And you could cut this thing 17 ways to Saturday. It's still hate speech. But yesterday, the United States Supreme Court decided the rule. And this is 8-1. Okay, this is 8-1. They look at this and they say, well, this is now protected free speech under the First Amendment. I don't know. I mean, granted, I'm not a constitutional scholar like a lot of these talking heads they see all the time, but I think I know a few things. And I seem to remember reading or hearing many years ago, there was a famous declaration, I forgot which justice it was, this was like back in the 20s or so, who famously said that the right to free speech does not entitle you to yell fire in a crowded theater. Well, if we can't say fire in a crowded theater, we can't, where do we make this leap of, going after a soldier, a Marine, whatever? We go after them for no reason, just because you got a bug up your ass about whatever it is. But you're goddamn religious nut jobs, and really we should not be extending the First Amendment to you if you abuse that right. And this is what it is abuse. But I read this and read the comment from the father of the Marine who was buried and whose funeral was protested. And he said, basically, we have 8 Supreme Court justices who don't have the common sense that God gave a goat. I think really my old man probably could have summed it up best, because I swear I can almost hear that right now. It's just basically saying you got the brains of a piss ant. It's about right. This is just another example of what happens when you let people run roughshod over the Constitution. Okay, I'm the first person that would stand here and stand up for the First Amendment and say that you have a right to say whatever you want to say, even if, it pisses somebody off. I mean, why else do I make these videos to YouTube? Why else do I, do shit on Twitter and all that? You'll never find out. But, I guess maybe the line is, that this now gives you the right to behave like an asshole. And I've had that said to me many a time on YouTube, but that's neither here nor there. But the point to all of this is that it's a distressing decision. You know, you just wonder what's going on. But I'm sure we will find some way to, at least clarify matters. I don't mean broaden, I mean clarify this. But again, I leave you with this comment. If they tell you that it's not okay to yell fire in a crowded theater, why is it okay to have uh, these nut jobs running around, basically, desecrating and desecrating the memory of a dead soldier? You know, they didn't ask this guy. They didn't ask this kid to go off to Afghanistan and die. They didn't ask that. But I've always said, even with the military funeral, you should have some semblance of respect. No, these fucking jack-offs from Topeka. I gotta tell you, man, I spent about a year out in north central Kansas. I did it a long time ago. But I spent time out there, and I can honestly tell you that, there are people across there, across some parts of the Midwest, who are just as perverted, just as demented as these nutbags. And you wonder why people turn against organized religion in this country. You just wonder. I mean, when you have the United States Supreme Court doing a decision like this, doesn't it make you wonder why people turn away from religion? Just a thought, folks. And on that thought, I'm going to leave all of you. I don't know when I'm going to do another video, so this will have to hold. This will just have to stay with you for a while. So as always, it is I, and I will be. I'm sorry. I have a dry mouth here. I need to do something here in a moment. We will see you soon when I get around to doing a video. So adios, and we will catch up to you.